Welcome to the Health Coach Nation podcast. My name is Hailey Rowe, and I'm a sales and marketing coach and LinkedIn lead generation service provider. I work with health, life, and mindset coaches and online service-based business owners to help them get more sales, shift their time to the client-generating activities instead of just the busy work, and overcome that social media overwhelm. Let's get into the show. If you're ready to take on your next paying clients, I have good news. My free 4 Basics of Client Attraction and How to Stand Out class is live at haileyrowe.com/client-attraction. In the class, you're going to learn the top 2 traits I recommend for most coaches and entrepreneurs if they really want to turn this into a career. You're going to learn how you can build demand for your services and stop getting crickets on your posts. You're going to learn the sales roadmap I used to improve my sales conversion rate and help my clients do the same. And you're going to learn so much more. So go to haileyrowe.com/client-attraction and get your copy of the class today. Welcome, Kimberly. We are talking today with a relationship coach all about how do you not let your business take over your life and your relationships. So, Kimberly, one of the questions I wanted to ask you is, how does actively working on somebody's emotional well-being and inner healing enhance not only your relationship, but also just your entrepreneurship and your effectiveness in business?
Yeah, so thanks for having me. And I think that's a really important question. So it's really about that deep working on the emotional part of yourself. So it's not all about strategies and tick lists and things like that. It's really about identifying, where inside of yourself you're not emotionally feeling either up to the job or connected, and identifying the root cause of that. So for example, in business, it could be, imposter syndrome coming up, and you're just emotionally not connected to that deeper why, that deeper purpose within yourself. And it's the same with relationships. If you're not believing in the potential of who you can be within a relationship or who you might get to meet, and you're emotionally just dragging yourself back down to that place of smallness, whether it's in relationship or business, dragging yourself back down to that smallness is just going to keep us stuck. So taking care of your emotional well-being, getting to the root cause of what's going on is really going to help you flourish in relationship or in business, both. And the way that we get down to those root causes is through inner healing techniques. And, there's a variety of techniques that I'm trained in that I would help people with. And usually it's within a session, we identify what the root cause is that's holding them back from either having the love that they desire, or what's holding them stuck in potentially toxic relationships, or what kept them stuck in the past. Maybe they've experienced that and they've come back out now and they're like, right, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to have a big, beautiful relationship. But how can I move forward into a really healthy, conscious relationship as opposed to accidentally getting swept up in something that is potentially toxic, which they may have experienced in the past? That deep inner healing work is going to naturally allow for the true you to come forward and stop having those fears, those deep fears that hold you back, whether it's in business, like imposter syndrome, holding you back, holding you stuck, making you small. The same with relationship as well. So it really goes hand in hand.
Yeah. Well, and I had a client once who said, I just realized through my business, because she, was playing the game of entrepreneurship, that I really hate and avoid asking for help. And it's in my personal life and in my professional life, at home with her husband and in her business. And so we had to work on, it's going to be hard to grow your business all by yourself with never asking for help, right? So I could totally see how somebody's personal things that they maybe need to work on could impact their business and outside things. So one thing I wanted to ask you, because you mentioned, healing techniques and practices that you use with clients. What do you find is most effective for entrepreneurs aiming to balance their business life without neglecting their relationships, without, looking at, oh my gosh, I achieved business success, but now I forgot I haven't talked to my friends in like 6 months. So what
Yeah.
do we do about that?
Yeah, well, and this is a real thing. This happens to us, especially when we get so passionate about our business or so passionate about a guy, we're like disappear off into that world. And it means that the rest of our world, all the different parts, whether it's our spiritual development or our health and well-being, exercise goes out the window when you get suddenly hyper focused into this one thing for like days or weeks or months. And as we know, that's not necessarily healthy and it's obviously not balanced. So the way that I really encourage clients to come back into balance within themselves is there's a little exercise we can do where it has all the different areas of your life. And you basically go around and you rate where you are in each of those areas. And you just kind of keep that up as a visual and remind yourself what all the important parts of your life are. And I've found that it's hard to keep a balance if you're trying to do everything every day. That's not going to work. That's going to make you end up feeling burnt out. But if you can think of it more like per month, if you can think of it a balance per month, okay, like I might not be able to do all the categories today, but I can make sure that I fit them in within the month. And giving yourself chunks like segments. It could be this day is for this day is for this. I always give myself Saturday and Sunday off, whatever those sorts of balancing things are. But also, again, it's not just about the strategies and the tick lists and things like that. It's really about knowing the big goal as well as your values and your deep why. So when we really know ourselves, we know our values, like could be communication is up there really high. It could be, family life is up there really high in terms of values. And then, so you have that and you balance it with your why. So if your why is not connected to your values, you're never going to find balance. The deep why could be, it's not just that I want to provide for my family and make money and all that kind of thing. The deep why could be so that my creative part of myself, my deeper creative self feels expressed, so that for me, that is a life well lived. So that end of the day, when you're laying on your deathbed, if you get to look back at your life, if you have the opportunity to look back at your life, you're really seeing that your soul has felt fulfilled because who you are as a person is deeply like expressed. So for me, creativity is a big part of my values and my why, because when you strip that away and you go into work that has no creativity in it, I gray out, I'm just like, meh. So I see where the energy comes back into my body when I'm living my why and I'm living my deeper values and I know what my goal is. So when we know those things, it's easier to come back to balance because your why and your values and your goals, it's all going to be connected to each of those parts of life, the spiritual development, the business development, friends and relationships, your children, family, like all those different areas. You're going to be able to link the dots and see like, okay, this is why I'm going to put my work down right now and I'm going to go meditate, or I'm going to go and socialize with my good friends who are missing me because I've been head down, bum up for so long, So it's like, it's just, yeah, that's where I would head in that direction for balancing. Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. I said great tips. And I like how you said it's something that's not, every day you have to hit all the boxes and everything has to be balanced each day. Just look at it more so as like a pie chart or over the month, like where, where's everything at? So now I want to ask you, we as entrepreneurs and also just in our time where there's a lot of things competing for our attention, we can all get very busy. And we also can get very passionate about our business and what we do. So what should we do if we want to get the most out of creating lasting connections and building relationships and not neglecting that piece of the puzzle when we don't really feel like maybe we don't feel like we're neglecting our relationships, but just all of our passion and energy tends to be going into our business?
Yeah. So if you find that all of your passion and energy is going into your business, it's probably because it's fulfilling those deeper whys inside of you. It's fulfilling something. The thing that we keep going back to, it's giving us a payoff of some kind, whether it's feeling authentic or creatively expressed or whatever the thing is, or serving. That's a big one. People go into just really being like of service, and they just get so deep into that they forget about like this whole other world out there. And you don't want to spend a good chunk of your life like so focused over here that you wake up and you go, crap, my relationship's gone to the toilet, my kids, like I don't have a good relationship with them or whatever. So I think there's pros and cons, and it's just about having that awareness of who you are deep down and finding yourself first, finding yourself like, who am I? Where is my life being pulled off balance, and who do I want to be in that moment? Like, look, if you want to be a hermit and you live up there and just totally stay on your computer all day and that's what you want to do, like, you got to know that about yourself and stick to it and be like, this is me, this is what I want to do. I can't come along and tell you your life isn't good or whatever. It's like, who are you? What do you really want? Now, if one of your things is, I want a relationship, I really do, but you find that you're kind of getting swayed over to your business, it could be that underlying this, I want a relationship idea, maybe there's something in there that you're actually scared about. Maybe there's something that you're avoiding, or there's potentially some wound in there that needs to be dealt with so that you can get excited about that relationship concept as well. Because you're super excited about business, but you're saying verbally that you want to have a relationship, but you're not doing actions that speak, I want a relationship. There's probably a reason underlying. So that's what this work is all about. It's always about getting to the sub layers into the subconscious mind and finding out what's going on. And it's not the same for everyone. It could be like inner child wounding, which is a really big part of what I help clients with, or it could be, there's so many different things, as as to what holds us back or pulls us away from the thing that we say we want to do. So it's really about finding those sub layers.
Yeah. I mean, and it even could be as simple as, like, for me, I think one of my things with dating when I was younger is like, I was just more used to working, performing, doing stuff with my friends. I just wasn't as used to dating. So I didn't know it. I didn't know what to expect. I had a lot of uncertainty and question marks. And so naturally I would just avoid it because I was like, well, I'm probably not good at that. I probably don't know what I'm supposed to do or whatever. Like, so I just think sometimes it doesn't have to be a deep wound. Sometimes it's as simple as like, I just haven't really prioritized this. I'm not used to it. It's like new territory for me. And it is, you have to be willing to venture into that. So thank you so much for sharing all of this. And I know that a lot of entrepreneurs will find this helpful if they've been feeling like they've been working a lot and want to make some room for their relationships. And I appreciate you for coming on today.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening to this podcast. And if it's really helpful for you, I'd really appreciate if you share it and or leave a written podcast review. This tells the podcast sites that our show is useful and it will be promoted to more people that way. Thanks again.